There is a lot of literature on how to start a company, but not much has been written on how to run a good company. No wonder we see a lot of companies with uh, evil managers, toxic work culture, and high attrition rates. In this video, I'll talk about 15 rules. I call them work rules that are essential in order to run a company that promotes peace of mind over stress and anxiety. If you're somebody who's running a company or planning to start a company or somebody who's working in a company, this video is for you. Rule number one, if you're stressed at work, you're stressed at home. You go into business to enjoy freedom and independence. So if you're stressed out at work, then it bleeds into your personal life and it affects your friends and your families. Avoid stress at all costs, no matter what. Rule number two, good companies are not families, they are neither sports teams. Good companies are supporters of families, so that when you shut down your laptop and you go home, you can be the best wife, the best husband, the best son, the best daughter, the best parent, the best friend. Rule number three, people do not listen to the leader, people emulate them. So if you're a leader who practices workaholism, exhaustion, sleeplessness, and self-sacrifice, then you demand the same from employees because you promote the same, right? So what do you say? They listen only say once a month, but what you do, they observe you every other day. So lead by example, right? If you want to promote something, then practice that. Rule number four, exhaustion is not a badge of honor, it's a mark of stupidity, right? You have to understand that you do not live to work, right? Therefore, sleep, nutrition, fit body and mind are more important, way more important than work. Rule number five, work should decrease with time. So as time passes, you should get more done by having less to do. At some point, there might be a situation where you do not have anything worthwhile to do. So do not take the time to do something that is not worth doing. Rule number six, benefits should help people put their lives ahead of work, not the other way around. So free dinner is not a benefit. Free dinner is a ploy to make you work longer hours in the office. At least in the days when we had office, right? Right now, everybody's working from home. And what is a good benefit? It's a compulsory vacation once every year, right? And when you go on a vacation, people should be allowed to unplug completely, both physically and mentally. So get out of the Slack groups or other office communication apps, and trust me or not, a company is not going to fold just because somebody was away for a month. If the company folds, it wasn't a great company to begin with. Rule number seven, and this is a bit controversial, but business goals are artificial. All of them, they are set just for the sake of setting targets, and people do not know the numbers they are setting. Just because you are growing at 30% week on week, you set the goal of growing at 40%. It's bullshit. It creates anxiety and stress, and you chase arbitrary numbers for the sake of chasing, right? You are working for the sake of working, not to have freedom and independence, right? What is a good goal of a business? A good goal of a business is to not go bust, right? To serve your customers well, right? To create a delightful place of work. Now, those are not quantifiable per se, but those are actually good goals. And those are the primary goals of any business, not some random numbers just because the best practices or the industry demands them, right? Rule number eight, roadmaps are guesses. Now we have this habit of setting huge BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals that in 5 years will be like grow by 100% or 500% because 100% is not enough these days, right? Those are bullshit, to be honest. You have no idea what the world's gonna look like, say 6 months from now, let alone 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, right? So take a roadmap as a guess, okay? They are not hard and fast rules to follow. Rule number nine, use constraints to prioritize work. Now, if you cannot get done whatever you want to do within a 40-hour work week, then do not increase the hours, decrease the work, pick more efficiently, get better at picking things that are more important and let the things go that are not essential, right? Because deadlines may be essential. Say you have to release a software every month or every 2 weeks, that is fine, but you should get better at picking things what to release, right? So the amount of work should be flexible, deadlines may not be. Rule number 10, and this is my favorite, meetings should be the last resort. I hate meetings personally because I believe it's a waste of time. Any meeting, like any meeting, status updates, meetings, stand-up meetings, any meeting that serves only the manager or the leader or the CEO is a complete waste of time. Because if you gather like 10 people and have a 1 hour meeting, it's not a 1 hour meeting, it's a 10-hour meeting, right? You're wasting 10 people's time who could have done something else, something more important than like giving status updates. And what are status updates? Hey, this is what I've done last week and this is what I'm planning to do now. Come on, write a bloody email and get sorted with, right? Sometimes you have to have meetings. It's very important once in a while, but not the primary thing. But if you have a meeting, then limit to only 3 people, not more than that. More than that, it doesn't work, right? It loses all the purpose and becomes a total waste of time. Rule number 11, communication should be asynchronous primarily. For example, choose emails over chats, because synchronous communication such as chats or like you call somebody from their desk and have a chat with them, either way promotes quick responses rather than thoughtful discussions, right? And you have to understand that how fast you can reach somebody has nothing to do with how fast they can respond to you. Like chat app allows you to just bring somebody up from the list and just send a short chat without explaining the whole thing in details, and it puts undue pressure on them to get back to you as soon as possible. And it breeds, it allows, it promotes the ASAP culture, right? And if you notice, you are able to get more done when you are away rather than when you're available, right? Availability or being responsive is an undue pressure. It breeds anxiety and doesn't get anything done. So go asynchronous, go for emails rather than chats. Rule number 12, the office is a library, right? And this is very important. It's a library which promotes quietness and peace of mind, where people can go and get some work done rather than a place of chaos. Now, if you go to any library in any country in the world, you know what to do and people know what to do, right? You cannot just go and call somebody up from their seat and have a chat with them, right? You know that people are there to get their work done and you shouldn't disturb them. And if you have to talk to somebody, if it's compulsory, then maybe you do it in whispers rather than you shout your lungs out like you do in office. So why not in office? Because people are going to office to get some work done. Just allow them the space and the calmness to get some work done rather than creating a place of chaos. Rule number 13, choose considered feedback over impulsive reactions. When somebody presents you with an idea, take your sweet time to gather your thoughts before just reacting to it, right? Because the person who is presenting you an idea has taken their own sweet time to gather the thoughts, consider all the angles, and then present to you. So your job is not to find the loopholes or pass the idea. Then it becomes a defense, not a discussion, right? In office, you're there to discuss ideas, right? So just consider the ideas, take the time, gather your thoughts, and then present them in a nice way. Do not attack people. Rule number 14, and this is one of my favorites, not every idea is a bloody eureka moment. Now, what happens is that you are working, suddenly you have an idea and you feel this urge to go to everybody in the office and tell people, hey, I've got this brand new idea that is gonna blow your mind, that is gonna make our company $1 billion. Come on, do not do that. That is stupid, right? When you have an idea, just do not go rushing to people, just sleep on it, like wait for a day. And I promise you, the next day when you wake up, you'll see that this brilliant idea that you had yesterday is not as good as you thought it to be, right? It saves people a lot of time, because this eureka moment, suddenly this fake pseudo for eureka moment kind of asks you to go and nudge people and then tell them about this idea. Do not do that. It wastes a lot of time. Just stop doing that. Rule number 15, say no more than you say yes to features, to clients, to customers, to everything, right? Because saying no is saying no to one thing, but saying yes is saying no to 1,000 other things. So consider before you say yes, and by default say no. Because if you say no now, if you say no to a new customer, a new client, a new feature, or anything, a new job opportunity or whatever, then tomorrow you can come back and say yes, right? But if you say yes, it's very hard to say no, because you've made the promise and things are in motion. It's very hard to change things when things are started to take shape, right? So say no by default, say no more than you say yes, and you'll live happily ever after. That is my promise to you. That is all for today. 15 rules to build a good company, create a better workplace where you focus on people, their happiness, their peace of mind, rather than creating stress, creating undue pressure, and breeding anxiety in people's minds so that they get frustrated and leave your company. It is possible to build a good business which pays itself by treating people as people, not as resources, because we have this notion that human resources, they are resources, right? They are not resources, they are people. Treat them as people, give them their own sweet time, give them their much needed vacation, so that they are much more motivated to come to the workplace and give their best, right? And that is how we build healthy culture. My name is Abhishek, this is Coffee and Junk. Thank you for watching. Every Sunday I post a new video where I talk about a new idea that gives you an undue advantage over others in business and in life. And trust me, if you follow these rules, you'll be creating a better company than anybody else, because nobody is doing it. Because it sounds very ideal, it sounds very impractical. It is not. It is very practical. You treat people as people, and you prioritize life over work, and you prioritize independence, right? You prioritize freedom, right? That is how you win in the game of business. I'll see you soon. Till then, peace.